So when I'm talking about the Old Man in the Mountain, you might be thinking about this, which is not what I'm talking about. But if you are from the West and you are at all familiar with the assassin legends between the 14th century and this video right now, you might be thinking of this guy, or this guy, or this guy, or this guy. This is Hassan-as-Sabah, who is known in the West as the Old Man in the Mountain. But he's not the Old Man in the Mountain. Hassan-as-Sabah was the Nizari lord of Alamut Castle in Iran from 1090 to 1124. And yes, he is cool, and he did assassin stuff, and there are a lot of legends associated with him, but he wasn't called the Old Man in the Mountain until the 14th century. Before that, the Old Man in the Mountain was this guy, or this guy, or this guy, or this guy. This is Rashid-ud-Din Sinan, the Nizari lord of Masyaf and later Al-Kaf in Syria. You see, the assassin legends as we know them today started as crusader literature, told by crusaders who were doing crusades. And they're mostly about the Levant, Syria, Palestine, Lebanon, Jordan, that area, where the crusades happened. So most of the stories that talk about the Old Man in the Mountain are about Rashid-ud-Din Sinan in Syria. Some of them are also about al-Astrabadi or Nasr al-Ajami, but they're all Syrian. It wasn't until after the Crusades, when the assassin legends had a renaissance, no pun intended, in Europe, that they combined these Syrian assassin stories with Sarghdas es-Saidna, the alleged biography of Hassan-as-Sabah, to make one story. So for the past 600 years, unless a story is going specifically for historical accuracy, most depictions of the assassins just scoop in Hassan-as-Sabah and put them into Syrian stories. Probably the most famous version of that is Marco Polo's travelogue, where he just took all of the Syrian assassin stories and just kind of dropped them in Iran for no reason. He probably didn't visit either one. So just to clear it up, there were Nizaris in Syria and Nizaris in Iran, and also in Badakhshan in India, but they're not important to this story. The Iranian Nizaris mostly beefed with the Abbasids and the Seljuks, and the Syrian Nizaris mostly beefed with the Ayyubids and the Crusaders. So the stories that we get from Crusaders about these mythical assassins, they're about the Syrians. The Turkish TV shows seem to get it right. Hassan-as-Sabah beefs with the Seljuk, Rashid-ud-Din Sinan beefs with Salah ad-Din Ayyubi. But for a high-profile, big-budget TV show like this one to be mostly about Hassan-as-Sabah in Iran, but then add in a subplot about the Crusaders, doesn't really make sense, especially when the events depicted are explicitly in a completely different country with a completely different person 70 years after he died.